So let's say now the company has got to a point where, they've told you the problems, they've told you how that is affecting them. Then you would reiterate the problem. So what I like to say is I ask about, what problems they're having. I reiterate that problem. And then I ask them, well, how is that affecting you? Because let's be honest, let's say I've got a business, right? And in terms of, marketing, let's say marketing, right? I've got a business and I'm not using anyone for marketing in my business. Let's say you call and you speak to me, whether it's a face-to-face, Zoom, call, whatever it is, and you say, what are the problems you're having at the moment? How is this affecting you? And, I know other people are obviously using social media at the moment. Other people are going through marketing strategies. Well, how is that affecting you, or what issues are you having? They will talk about those issues. What happens if you don't take out any marketing? Because other people are. So is it not fair to say that they are getting the customers that maybe once were walking through your doors, or maybe once were using your services? So how does that affect you as a business? Again, you know what you're doing? You're talking about the problem, and then you're reiterating how that's affecting the person. And then you're going to do the close, which we'll mention. But let me add some substance to this. The reason you're doing that is because a lot of people think about the problem, but don't like to put it at the front of their head. In essence, it's at the back of their head and they don't like to really think about it too much. You, my friends, you guys need to mention it to them, remind them how it's affecting their business. And that is why you need to give them a solution. But more importantly, you need to go deeper into this. So I'm going to give you an example now. This same example in marketing, I would say something like, it's fair to say that other companies are using marketing strategies at the moment and therefore are on social media platforms. Let's say we're speaking to a restaurant, okay? So they're obviously getting the customers, then they're getting in front of the people that were once walking through your doors. How is that affecting your business? They'll explain. I will ask something like, and in regards to your business, how much of your business is online, as in through the delivery apps, and how much is walking through the door? They'll say whatever they'll say, and then I'll understand a little bit about the business, and then I'll ask them the question. I'll say, well, what happens if other companies continue to use marketing ways to get more customers in, and you don't? And obviously, the people that are once walking through your doors now go through other people. How does that affect you as a business, right? He might say, well, it affects us. Okay, but look, for me to really be able to benefit your business, I'm trying to understand how that would affect you in terms of, the revenue side. So how much of your money is coming through online? How much is coming through the doors? Okay, so it's fair to say, whatever that number is, let's say it's £10,000, right, altogether. So you're now, you're making £10,000 a month. Other businesses are obviously using marketing strategies and so on and so forth. Well, actually, if we could increase your sales by 20%, because actually we're marketing to you as a business and we're getting your business in front of other platforms and so on and so forth. It's fair to say that if we can increase your revenue by 20% after 6 months even per se, that would mean you're actually making an extra £2,500 a month. Is that something that sounds, you're now talking about numbers. Remember, when you talk about numbers, it becomes a bit realistic, right? So then you talk about numbers, and then if you're actually bringing £2,500 worth of business to the company, then actually you can easily charge them £1,500 a month, for example, or £2,000 a month. Does that make sense? And so that's, I guess, what it comes down to. And so you have to remember what I did there. I asked the open-ended questions. I asked about the business. I understood everything. How much money they're making currently, how much money they're making online. By the way, I don't have a marketing company, so this isn't my speciality, but I know sales very well. So I could sell anything to anyone, to be fair, because I understand how to work people, how to make sales, and how to convince people that actually your product or your service is good by understanding what the person's problem is.